Okay, I think it's recording. Can I just say that recording YouTube videos gives me a weird case of stage fright, even though there's nobody in the room. So welcome to my first ever voiceover. I'm gonna do a trial description of my art process. Bear with me, this is practice for progress, but I just really wanted to give it a shot. So in this picture we're doing a draw this in your style from Catnip's Patreon, so that's why the full picture actually isn't in the screen and on the reference in the bottom right corner like it usually is. If you want the full picture and to join in, you should go and check out Catnip Illustrations Patreon. She is an amazing YouTuber and I love her so much. So anyway, let's get into the video. This one has been slowed down a lot more than my other ones so that I can properly talk about everything that I wanted to talk about. If you'll see that there is, we didn't do the first sketch layer in the video because I did it on a different canvas that was a different shape, and you can't really record that properly in Procreate, so I dumped it into a square one, which I was going to work with for the rest of the time. And we start with this second sketch layer, which is what you just saw there. I'm working just in square shape canvases for the moment while I get my bearings. So usually I'll start with a really rough sketch layer that's really ugly, the one that started. Then there's this one that you just saw that's faded right now, and then we get into the line art, which is a dark blue color. I like to pick a color that sort of gives me the vibe of the piece. In this one it was a sort of like summer vibe, but like summer rain vibe, so that's why I picked the dark blue. And I have actually worked on a little cat animation for the bottom right for when there's no reference, but it's not done yet, so it's not in this one. Now, as you can see, I struggle a little bit with the her right and our left sleeve, and I totally cheat later. You're gonna see me cheat, but I actually don't care because again, like I said, I'm getting my bearings. I'm just getting back into digital art, and yeah, so I'll cheat away. You can judge me if you want, it's all good. I throw some color in to get sort of a vibe of what's going on, and right now you can see me kind of cheating my way into this sleeve. I do fiddle around with it a lot and kind of pick out what I want from the image. I could have copied it. I feel confident that I could have copied it. I was really lazy that day. You just watched me do some under layers for the anatomy, and I always find that really useful just to keep sort of grounded on the picture and make sure that nothing is sort of like doesn't work. You can see me fiddling more with the arm and the sleeve just to sort of match the angle that I want. I think it didn't turn out perfect, but I did manage to accomplish the look that I was trying to accomplish. So that's the most important part. And I'm almost on the line art. You're going to see me go in with color in just a minute. Yeah, so the other thing that I wanted to take note of was that most of the time, it's actually not on the screen right now, but it will be really soon, I put the paint brushes that I use in the picture somewhere. So if you guys watch it, probably like 720 or 180 or above, around those, you'll be able to read what brushes I use. And if they're packs, they're free packs that I downloaded, I'll put a link in. There they are, they just popped up on the screen. Yeah, so I use a lot of the SAI brush tool because it's a little bit rough and I kind of like it, plus the pressure is great. And I go in first with a shading layer with the square brush, but I actually erased this because I found these other oil brushes that I had downloaded and tried them out for the colors of the shading on the skin, and I absolutely fell in love. So I just want to talk a bit about the styles that I choose and the different layers. I do a very clean line art, and I've been leaning more towards doing a very painterly, very like rough shading style, which I didn't used to do. I used to do digital art a long time ago when I was a teenager, and I used to do very clean line art, and I used to do very clean shading lines and highlight lines and all of that. And I think that's why my art stagnated a lot, and doing this like more rough sketch, sort of sketchy sort of shading is just made my art so much more free in my opinion, but I still really like the clean line art, so it's working for me really well. I think it was very important that I did a big stint of traditional art. I still do it, but I'm doing a lot of digital right now as well. And I think the traditional art was so important for sort of establishing my style, but I will probably do an entire video on that because I think it deserves a lot more time to discuss, because it is just so important. And the other thing I want to talk about was the beautiful color scheme that Catnip chose. It's like, this is why I loved it, because it was kind of cooler in a way, but it was also like really nice pastels, and it did give me this summer vibe, but like a little bit of the rain, so that's why I call it Summer Rain, and I added a lot more rain in than I think she did, but yeah, interpretive, it's totally fine. I had so much fun with this piece. The colors really just were really inspiring for me, and also it was really nice to do a piece that didn't have such hard shadows. A lot of my recent pieces have had very hard shadows, very strong lighting, and I just wanted to make sure that I could do pieces that didn't have as strong shadows, like maybe sit outside in the summer rain, for example. And I also wanted to go over some of the parts of this piece that I liked and parts of the piece that I disliked. Quick intermission, you can see I find a place for the whale because I wanted to put the whale in. And cheating my way through the background as well. I didn't do a huge effort on the background, I just couldn't quite find a place for it, but that's okay. So the things I really liked about this picture, like I said, the color scheme. I love the way the warm tones to her face in contrast with the cool tones, like the rain vibe. And then the things I didn't quite love that I do better, probably the sleeve again. I think it worked out just about, but I think it could have been better. And the jeans were a little bit flat. So then we're going into the final stages, and this for me is the most fun part of the drawing. You do it all. If you see my other ones, I actually use the liquify tool a lot. I don't use it on her as much in the end of this piece. But I do a lot of editing, and I do just skew things around, try out different, flipping it, everything like that, blurring it, trying out different things, and I just find it so fun. And it really, my pieces can be so ugly right up until the end, I find some of the time. Like I watch some of my other videos, I'm like, whoa. But it's all good, it turns out. Thank you so much for sticking around this long on my first ever voiceover. Of course, any comments or suggestions are welcome down below. Give me any tips or anything you'd like to see. Alright, I will see you next time.